Welcome students. In this class, I will be discussing about youth in Nazi Germany. Hitler was fanatically interested in youth of the country. He felt that a strong Nazi society could be established only by teaching children Nazi ideology. This required a control over the child both inside and outside. What happened in his schools under Nazism? All schools were clean and purified. Teachers who were Jews or seen as politically unreliable were dismissed. Children were first segregated. German and Jews could not sit together or play together. Undesirable children like Jews, the physically handicapped gypsies were thrown out of schools. And finally, in 1940, they were taken to the gas chambers and killed. In Nazi school, racial science was introduced to justify Nazi ideas of race. Stereotypes about Jews were popularized, even though through math teachers. Children were taught to be loyal and submissive, hate Jews, and worship Hitler. Even the function of sports was to nurture a spirit of violence and aggression among children. Hitler believed that boxing could make children iron-hearted, strong, and masculine. Youth organizations were made responsible for educating German youth in the spirit of National Socialism. 10 years olds had to enter Jungvolk, an organization. At 14, all boys had to join the Nazi youth organization, Hitler Youth, where they learned to worship war, glorify aggression and violence, condemn democracy, and hate Jews, communists, gypsies, and all those categorized as undesirable. After a period of rigorous ideological and physical training, they joined the labor service, usually at age of 18. Then they had to serve in the armed forces and enter one of the Nazi organizations. The Youth League of the Nazis was founded in 1922. 4 years later, it was renamed Hitler Youth to unify the youth movement under Nazi control. All other youth organizations were systematically dissolved and finally banned. The Nazi cult of motherhood. How they took the motherhood. Children in Nazi army were repeatedly taught that women were radically different from men. In the fight for equal rights for men and women that had become part of democratic struggles everywhere was wrong, and it would destroy society. While boys were taught to be aggressive, masculine, and steel-hearted, girls were told that they had to become a good mothers and rear pure-blood Aryan children. That means they had to give birth to real pure-blood Aryan children. At the same time, it is their responsibility to rear that Aryan child. Girls had to maintain the purity of race, distance themselves from Jews, look after home, and teach their children Nazi values. They had to be the bearer of the Aryan culture. And in 1933, Hitler said, "In my state, the mother is the most important citizen." But in Nazi Germany, all mothers were not treated equally. Women who bore racially undesirable children were punished, and those who produced racial desirable children were awarded. They were given favored treatment in hospitals and were also entitled to concessions in shops and theater tickets and railway fares. Those who gave birth to Aryan children. To encourage women to produce many children, honor crosses were awarded. A bronze cross was given for 4 children, silver for 6, and gold for 8 or more. But remember, they should be Aryans. The woman give birth should be Aryans. All Aryan women who deviated from the prescribed code of conduct were publicly condemned and severely punished. Those who maintained contact with Jews, Poles, and Russians were paraded through the town with shaved hats, blackened face, and placard hanging around their neck announcing, "I have sullied the honor of the nation." Many received jail sentences and lost honor as well as their husband and families for this criminal offense. Criminal offense means being in contact with Poles, Russia, and Jews were termed as criminal offense, and they were punished. The art of propaganda, that means how the Nazi advertised themselves. The Nazi regime used language and media with care and often to great effect. The terms they coined to desirable their various practices were not only deceptive, but they are chilling too. Nazi never used the word kill or murder in their official communication. Mass killing were termed special treatment. Final solution for the Jews, euthanasia for disabled, selection and disinfection. These were the word used by the Nazis to kill. Evacuation meant deporting people to gas chambers. Do you know that the gas chambers were called? They were labeled disinfection areas and looked like bathrooms equipped with fake shower heads. Media was carefully used to win support for the regime and popularize its worldview. Nazi ideas were spread through visual images, films, radios, posters, catchy slogans, and leaflets. In poster, groups identified as enemy of Germans were stereotyped, mocked, abused, and described as evil. Socialists and liberals were represented as weak and degenerate. They were attacked as malicious foreign agents. That means infectious insects. Propaganda films were made to create hatred for Jews. The most infamous film was The Eternal Jew. Orthodox Jews were stereotyped and marked. They were shown with flowing beards, wearing kaftans, whereas in reality it was difficult to distinguish German Jews by their outward appearance because they were a highly assimilated community. They were referred to as vermin, rats, and pests. Their movements were compared to those of rodents. Nazism worked on minds of the people, tapped their emotions, and turned their hatred and anger at those marked as undesirable.